I asked all of you for your marketing questions and you delivered. I have lots of questions to get into, so let's just do it. If you're new here, my name is Shelby Lee. I am a marketing coach for creatives, authors, artists, musicians, photographers. If you are creative, you are in the right place. And I love chatting about social media marketing, entrepreneurship, business, all the things that you can find here on this YouTube channel. So please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And we are going to start from the very beginning. My first question was from Angie, who just wants to know where to start. I published my first book at the end of last year and I didn't break even. I was going to give up and take the book off the market due to low sales. Now I have 2 more books that I want to write, but I don't want the results that I received from my last book. What should I do first? And I just followed up with Angie to make sure that I completely understood what have you done to market so far, if anything. And Angie hasn't started marketing yet, and that's okay. But it's always helpful for me to know what place you're in whenever these questions are asked that I can help you. So Angie, I am so glad you didn't give up because we are just getting started. Putting your book out into the world is just the beginning. Then comes the harder part for a lot of us, which is promoting it and getting it out there. There are millions of books published on Amazon all the time. And so we have competition and we have to show our readers why we are different than other books. So we have to promote and get our work out there. Where I would first be starting for you is from a branding perspective, back to basics. If you haven't taken the time to think about who you are as a creative, what makes you tick as a creative, but also why you created what you create, why you wrote your book and wanted it to be out in the world, who is your audience? Who do you want to reach with your work? What age range are they? Where do they live? What do they do for fun? Where do they spend time online? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Threads? And what types of marketing do you like to do or do you think you'll like to do if you're new to it? Do you see yourself being on video and talking like I am? Do you see yourself making graphics and maybe quote templates of your book to promote it? Do you see yourself writing? You just like words and want to post threads or educational information or maybe inspirational stories connected back to your book? I recommend a mix of these because I find that that's the best for social media is a mix of different content, but really starting from scratch with that and determining who you are as a creative and who your product is for is going to be the best place to start for marketing. The next thing I would do is pick a couple platforms. My favorites are TikTok and Instagram, and I have playlists dedicated to teaching you Instagram and TikTok marketing. So I will link those one by one up here at the top of the video so you can find those or just go to my page and you'll find them. And I also have step-by-step written guides if you are someone who loves to just walk from the very, very beginning to setting up your profiles on social media, one for Instagram and one for TikTok that I will link for you in the description because those are my best-selling courses and people really enjoy them. We have to market our products to get them seen. So starting little by little, step by step, to start talking about your book that you've worked so hard on and who you are as an author is going to go a long way. All right, Catherine is next up, who asked, how did you attract people's interest in your books and how were you able to grow your social media following? This is a huge question and takes a lot of steps and time to do this, but I'll break it down for you into a few steps. The first one is similar to what I just mentioned with Angie's question, which is knowing your audience inside and out and who your readers are. A great place to research this is by going on social media, searching for your genre or your topic that you write about or create products about, and looking at your audience and what they are talking about. What types of content are they creating? What is relatable to them? What do they love about your niche? And creating content around those things. Growing a following takes getting in front of more and more people who are interested in what you're talking about. And the type of content that tends to have wider reach is going to be either relatable, funny, inspirational, something that we'd all want to send to a friend. Mike also asked a similar question, who doesn't currently have a community and is tech savvy, but just never have tried using social media, and asked, how do I build a community of people who are interested in my writing? So for both Catherine and Mike, I have the same advice and going to refer you to the same video on how to build a following from scratch. Katie asked a great question next. If you had to put your focus on one aspect of marketing or one platform, which would it be and why? I love this question, and I think that I have to answer it with two different platforms because I really can't have one without the other. I could, but I wouldn't be as successful or as happy about it. And that is one social media platform and my email list. Because once we can get people off of our social media platform and have them tell us, hey, I want to hear from you in my inbox, they're more likely to become a customer of ours. So if I absolutely only had to pick one, I would say an email list. However, I would need another platform to get traffic to my email list. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. And so I like using one social media platform. I think I would pick Instagram because it is easier to build an email list with Instagram than TikTok, even though that's my largest platform. So that is my magic duo. That is what I would recommend everyone start with, is one social media and get your email list started. George asked a really great question about revitalizing a dead Facebook or Instagram account, and that inspired me to do a separate video on that. So I promise I will be back to your question. I'm going to do an entire video on revitalizing a dead account. So stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. All right, our next question is from a debut indie author who is overwhelmed with the marketing process. You are not alone. She did most of her marketing for her first book on Instagram, about 3,000 followers, also did paid promos and Amazon ads, but none of these things translated to sales. Trying to decide what to do next, and I'm at a loss for where to focus my energy. So the first thing that we want to look at whenever we have tried some different marketing is our actual product. A lot of times we can think that it's the marketing that's not effective, but if our product isn't set up for success, we're not going to see the sales that we're hoping for. So I want you to take a look at your book cover objectively, get some feedback on your book cover if you haven't already. Is it a good genre fit? Will your readers recognize this as the genre that they think it is? And is it a professional looking cover? The next is going to be your product description. Is it well written? Is it engaging? Is it speaking to your target audience? Again, you could try reaching out to some readers in your genre and asking them for feedback on this. Is this a book that they will read? I find social media such a great place for not only researching, but also experimenting. So before you ever spend money on paid promos, on Amazon ads, on Facebook ads, test it organically with the audience that you have, or focus on building an audience first using that video that I mentioned about how to grow your audience from scratch as a brand new author or creative. If you can test elements of your product description, show off your cover on social media, and get engagement and traction, that's a really good sign that those elements are creating a very strong product. And then you can learn different hooks and messaging that's working for you on social media that you can then take and use in ads. So before you ever spend money on these things, I think that it's really helpful to just do some testing on social media yourself. Social media is a great free platform. You can reach people internationally, and you have a ton of research and readers right at your fingertips to engage with and see what they are posting about and talking about with their favorite books. So absolutely, I would recommend that as a great next step for you. Just start getting your stuff out there and start testing and seeing what kind of reaction you get to your product description, your book cover, all of the above. Leanne asked a step back from marketing before we even get to the marketing piece. Leanne has written 2 books and is illustrating them herself, which is awesome. What about the middle part though? The layout, the design, the printing, where do we go? Great question. There are a few different places you can start. So there's self-publishing and there's traditional publishing when it comes to books. A lot of my audience is indie authors, self-publishing, and I have quite a few traditionally published authors as well. I'm actually a mix myself. So I started off self-publishing. My last few books have been traditionally published. With traditional publishing, this typically takes you either pitching to publishers or first querying to agents about why your book would be a good fit for them and be a success on the market. And they then pitch to publishers for you and get you a book deal. This takes time. You might face a lot of rejection along the way, and it typically will take months if you're lucky, years if you are most authors. The other option is going to be self-publishing, which is where you take on that work of doing it yourself from start to finish. You might hire contractors or freelancers along the way to do your cover design, to help you with formatting, to walk you through the process if needed. However, the process is pretty straightforward. You can use Amazon KDP, which is Amazon's free self-publishing platform, or you can use Ingram Spark, which is also a self-publishing platform that distributes more widely than Amazon. I recommend doing research on both of these, and there's also other options as well out there. Those are just the two that I'm most familiar with. And you can publish an ebook, paperback, and even hardcover with those platforms and get them distributed onto Amazon and then other websites like potentially Barnes & Noble and others as well. So they handle the printing for you and the shipping of them as well. And then for design, they have templates that you can download and format yourself, or you can hire out and hire a formatter. I've used Amnet author services before back in the day whenever I was formatting my own book. You could also check out things like Fiverr or Upwork, or look at other self-published books in your genre or books that you like and see if they list who did the interior design or the cover design and look for freelancers that way. Glenda has a website built for her business, but doesn't know how to effectively use it, and also purchased pictures for social media, but isn't sure how and when to post them. So I would recommend for you, Glenda, my step-by-step guides, because I really take you from downloading the app to setting up your bio to starting to share your content on social media. If you're not a social media user, it's going to be a little overwhelming, and I definitely recommend jumping on and scrolling through content and getting a sense for what a post contains, the graphic or the video, the caption that you then have to write before diving into posting yourself. However, if you do have a website created, I would be focused on starting on social media to get traffic to your website, to show off what you've created, and also to start growing your email list like I recommended earlier in this video. If you want to learn more about email marketing, I will link you to my video on author newsletters and also direct you to MailerLite in the description of this video. That is my email marketing platform of choice. So I'll have a link for you to join that if you're interested below. Thank you all so much for your questions. Thank you for being a part of this community, for subscribing to this channel, and tuning in for my weekly videos every single Sunday. If you have additional questions, I love doing these Q&A videos and getting to your questions. So feel free to comment them below this video so I can keep my running list of questions that you all have for me and make valuable content for you every single week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will see you in next week's video, and don't forget to promote your work this week. Bye.